Today we are having brunch at 60 Vines in Winter Park, Florida. If you don't know, we do dining reviews every single Monday, so be sure to check those out. So like I said, we are having brunch here today. This is our first time kind of wandering up into the Winter Park area, and we are so excited. We've heard nothing but good things about 60 Vines, and they have a huge menu to choose off of. They do have brunch and dinner here, but we're doing brunch today. And whenever you are seated at your table, the menu is actually kind of like, or actually it's a drink menu, is kind of like your placemat on the table, so you can kind of see your drinks throughout the whole meal. And they have a lot of wines here. This is kind of in wine country-ish Florida. And they have a lot of wine on tap up at the bar, which is really cool. They also have some cocktails on tap as well. And we're gonna be eating a lot of food today, but we are excited.
My breakfast, brunch, lunch, drink today actually went with a single origin French press coffee. I didn't get a whole lot of details on it, but it is pretty good. If I'm coming to brunch or if I'm going to get breakfast and I've got the option to get a French press, normally it's a little bit of a higher quality than what you would get with a normal drip. So it's good.
Our friends Donald and Elliot are also with us today just to help give a little bit more variety since we really can't eat the whole entire menu by ourselves.
So to get things started, we got a couple of shareable things for the table. One of those being the orange morning bread, and it is amazing. It's kind of like a play on cinnamon rolls, so you'll be pretty comfortable with the idea of what that is. But it has a citrus icing on it, which is amazing. It just brings in these different elements or flavors or notes to that are unexpected and also something I've never found in a cinnamon roll. I would go so far as to say these are the best. I mean, I know it's morning bread, but I'm calling it kind of a cinnamon roll spin, and it's the best I've ever had. It does also have candied walnuts on it. I think that's unnecessary. There's enough flavor there with it already. And also some little coffee crumble crunch. The only thing I'd like more of is more of that citrus icing because it's so good. I want just like a side of that to go with it or something. But it's amazing. And again, this is brunch, so you can't really have brunch without some form of beverages. So I went out of my comfort zone and decided to try something totally new today. This is their G&T, and it's on tap. That's a gin and tonic. It took me a second to put that together, so I thought I'd help you out a little bit. But it's basically, it's on tap, it's got everything already in there. The gin is there, the tonic is there, obviously, and then they mix in elderberry, like Saint Germain kind of flavor with peppercorns and things. So it has floral notes to it, but it also has just enough kick to reel it back in and not be too sweet or too floral. It's kind of the perfect complement for brunch, so I highly recommend that one.
So for my drink, I kept it pretty simple. I did the Vine Huggers Rosé. It's super light, not too sweet, so it's a nice balance for all the food that we're trying today. It's not too overpowering, so pretty delicious. And a nice little surprise is that the server noticed that we were taking videos and photos, and she actually brought out some complimentary carrot pancakes for us to try, which are delicious. They are a carrot cake pancake with maple butter, cream cheese syrup, mascarpone whip, and candied walnuts. Now, I'm not a big pancake person. However, these are probably some of the best pancakes I've ever had. It didn't need anything additional. I think between the flavor of the pancakes, how light and fluffy they were, that mascarpone syrup on top, that whole blend of flavors was absolutely delicious. I kind of would have ordered these on my own if she hadn't brought them out. So it was a nice little surprise, but overall, fantastic.
So for my brunch beverage this morning, I have got the frozen blackberry bramble. This comes with Wheatley vodka, blackberry liqueur, lemon, and simple syrup. Oh my gosh, it is fantastic. I love that it's frozen because I really like a frozen drink with brunch or dinner or anything really. But I love the blackberry and lemon in there together. Blackberry lemonade is one of my favorite things other than raspberry lemonade, so this was a perfect start, along with the morning bread, which was amazing. And same thing as Donald, I love that citrus icing that's on there. They could just load it up with that and we'd be good to go. We also got to start the artichoke and garlic pizza. They make homemade pizzas here. This one comes with white sauce, marinated artichoke, green garlic pesto, fontina cheese, and micro basil. This pizza is fantastic. Actually, Matt, one of our Patreons, wanted us to try this, so of course we had to because it sounded amazing. And The pesto just gave a little bit of extra flavor in there. I loved the cheese and the garlic. I mean, you can't get enough garlic. The crust was cooked perfectly. It's not a super flatbread pizza, but it is a pretty thinner crust. Overall, this was a fantastic pizza to start, along with the morning bread.
So for my entree, I had the Cabernet Brunch Burger, which is a cabaret smothered Wagyu beef patties, 2 of them, not one, with a free-range egg, white cheddar cheese, onions, tomatoes, and everything bun, so kind of like an everything bagel, but in bun form, that was toasted, and it was fantastic. Everything about that blended together so well. The beef was phenomenal, which, I mean, Wagyu, you expect it to be. But with the cheese and the onions and all as well, I would definitely get that again and again. I highly recommend it. It was extremely messy, but I just ate it with a knife and fork, and that was the perfect solution for that. And it had a side of breakfast potatoes, which were also really well done. Really well cooked and prepared, not well done. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal. I loved it.
For my entree, I chose the egg white and goat cheese frittata. It consisted of wild mushrooms and spinach, herb tomatoes, goat cheese, pecorino, and peppery cress. Now, I was really pleased with this selection just because it's a little bit of a lighter option. Everyone else tended to have a little bit heavier meals, and I kind of wanted something a little bit light just because I wanted to try everyone else's food. But it was super light, really fresh, nice and flavorful. The goat cheese definitely added a nice little punch to it. It's a great option if you are looking for something that's vegetarian. I guess you would say it's vegetarian because there's no meat in it. But otherwise, just a nice lighter choice. In addition, I added a side of bacon, which was a nice little surprise. There actually wasn't regular bacon, it was cherry with smoke, but it also had garum, I believe it's called, spice on it. So it added a nice little flavor profile to just regular thick cut bacon. Overall, it was really delicious.
For my meal today, I had the ricotta chiffon French toast. This comes with lemon curd, mascarpone, whipped cream, and blueberry syrup. This French toast was amazing. It actually almost didn't even seem like a French toast. The bread was so light and it wasn't super crunchy. Just a little bit on the outside, it had that little bit of a crunch texture, but not much at all. But I mean, the bread itself was just so light and airy, and I mean, with that ricotta in there, I think that's just kind of what made it have that lightness to it. I was afraid this was going to be a heavy dish, but it was not at all. And I loved the lemon curd flavor in there and the blueberry syrup. I mean, overall, this was a fantastic dish. That mascarpone whipped cream on top, too, was really light and airy. I mean, for having French toast for breakfast, I always expect something super heavy and super sweet. However, it was sweet, but not super sweet, and it was not heavy at all. It was fantastic.
For my entree today at brunch, I got the short rib sourdough melt. This is red wine braised short rib, fresh mozzarella, basil, sliced tomatoes, basil pesto, aioli, balsamic sourdough, garlic herb breakfast potatoes. Total of $17. You know, I'm always kind of on the fence of, if we come to brunch, am I going to get something that's for breakfast or am I going to get something that's more lunchy? And I think this was probably the perfect sandwich that I could have gotten for brunch today. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought the short rib was still nice and tender, also still moist. It wasn't kind of dry, because I feel like sometimes short rib, whenever you put it on a sandwich and it gets taken away from all that moisture, can sometimes be a little bit dry. But there's enough additional accompaniments for the sandwich that it really blended very well together. And I think what really sets this off is the use of the fresh mozzarella. Instead of using, a sliced cheese, the fresh mozzarella adds another kind of depth to the whole flavor of the sandwich. It was great. I would definitely come back and get it again. What threw me for a surprise were the garlic herb breakfast potatoes, because I might be crazy, but it seemed like they had a citrus kind of like dressing or hint to it. And not to say that didn't make them not good, because they were so good, but it's just a little bit different than what I was expecting. And I think may have overpowered the garlic herb seasoning that there was supposed to be on it. So, but overall, fantastic. Can't go wrong if you're looking for something that's a little bit different outside of Disney, outside of the theme parks, doing Orlando. It's a good place to check out. So we just finished eating it inside at 60 Vines, and it was fantastic.
It was a great brunch. I'm sure I would love to come back here and try dinner too, but oh my gosh, we are leaving stuffed today. We're taking home some leftovers as well. We tried a lot of food, and it was so good.
It was. This restaurant is actually a farm-to-table restaurant. Which,
it is.
You know, what I think is really great about that is that, in a sense, it really helps everything to be very fresh.
Yes.
And almost really made from scratch.
Yeah, and everything's local, so that's like a super great thing here at 60
Yes.
Vines.
Even the, I don't know that we really talked about this, but I think even some of the drinks are obviously not the tapped or premix that are coming from a tap. Probably aren't maybe made here, but they were talking about some of the Bloody Marys, and they ran out of the tomato base for that. So, you know, I think that makes it a little bit more exciting. It makes it a little bit more enjoyable.
And actually, some of the glasses that they have on the table that they serve drinks in are actually old wine bottles that they've kind of cut and turned into glasses, which is really cool. We didn't realize that at first until she set like the water wine bottle on the table, and we were like, that's the same thing.
Yeah. In total, so for the entire table, I think it was about $140, give or take a few dollars. And then we did end up splitting that with our meal, so it ended up being about $70 each,
Plus tip.
Which I really don't think was really all that bad for what we had.
I mean, we had a lot of food and a lot of drinks.
Yes, and this was like very good quality food.
It really was. Good portion sizes.
Again, we were on the north side of Orlando, so this is kind of out of the way if you're at Disney World. But if you're coming down with your own vehicle, if you're maybe staying off property somewhere, you're looking for something to get out of that Disney bubble and try something different, that's good.
For sure.
This was a place to come in and do. So
yeah, just up here in Winter Park.
Yeah.
But let us know if you plan on trying or have ever been to 60 Vines here in Winter Park.